BlogTalk Radio.
Hello, everyone. This is Chrism, and I'd like to welcome you to this conversation about your Kundalini awakening experience. And as usual, I am going to launch right into this. So here we are. Kundalini animals. Kundalini animals are a very important level of teaching within the Kundalini. The animals themselves contain levels of Shakti love, Shakti information, Shakti nourishment that certainly within Western technological society, isn't really allowing itself in many ways to be set up to experience. And so the Shakti animal, the Shakti cat, the Shakti bird, the Shakti serpent, the Shakti reptile, the Shakti dog, or as we have, the Shakti wolf. These scenarios become a very crucial element, can become a very crucial element within a person's Kundalini awakening experience. The animals themselves are pure. They have a level of intellect and a level of joining, in many cases, not all cases, but in many cases, a level of love that far, far supersedes that of human upon human or human upon the animal itself. The animal will be far more dedicated to the human in many cases than the human will be to the animal. And for the Kundalini awakened person or activated person, I'm going to suggest that you really begin to observe and invest yourself into what the Shakti is teaching you through the animal that she has given to be into your presence. Now, this doesn't, what I'm talking about here are the pets that a Kundalini person may have: the pet horse, the pet dog, the pet cat, the pet bird, all of the different pets, even the pet fish, even pet insects, like people have ant farms. These are all conduits of the Shakti Kundalini, of the Shakti nature that has very, very specific levels of information to teach you. Your dog or your cat or your personal friend, these beings, these enlightened beings, give a person a level of love. And these when I say enlightened beings with regards to the pets, these animals, first of all, they're just as important as human beings, number one. Number two, they're just as radiant and intelligent as human beings, number two. And number three, they are even more so in many cases because of the purity of the love they have to give for the activating or awakening human being. And so you really want to understand what a tremendous role these creatures have to teach the awakened or activated person. The animals are just amazing. They are amazing levels of love. They're amazing levels of forgiveness. If we could, for one iota, practice the amount of forgiveness that, say, a dog has for its owner. I mean, because there is no verbal interchange, there is no verbal language being exchanged that is, of a coherent nature. Coherent meaning that the human could understand a stream of spoken words, communications. Therefore, the communication is messed up to some degree, and therefore not all thoughts are given in a linear, logical way that, say, the human being would like to expect. And now, before I get too far into this, I'm going to ask Mary Jean or Manisha if the sound is coming through okay. I certainly don't want to get too far into this unless the sound is okay. So could either of you type that the sound is either good or not so good, and then we can make adjustments here. We do have to make these sound checks here because it can go a bit off at times. And Mary Jean says it's perfect. Manisha says it's good. So here we go. So within that level of thank you, ladies. Within that level of communication, the non-logical linear communication between plants and animals and human beings, what you want to understand is what you're being invited into is two levels of communication through telepathy and love. Telepathy and love. And this is very important because the Kundalini will give you telepathy, and it will give you exalted layers and levels of love for the person to begin to tie into with that creature that has through the grace of the divine become attached and is living with and around that human being. Very, 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 very important to understand that the Kundalini is not only in people. It is also represented through the animal kingdom, just not the same way. Just the same way that dogs are not out creating cars and driving around in dogmobiles. You know, they have their own level of understandings about the universe, the multiverse, the nature of life. They have their own understandings. They have their own sense of society, civilization, and the way it should be among them. And that includes those dogs that are with people. In many ways, the human will take upon themselves the mannerisms of their pet and vice versa. And so with the Kundalini awakened individual, well, that awakening is also reflected in the love and the mannerisms of the divine creature that is with that person going through the Kundalini awakening. And I have only to look at my cat, Lasha. Students today, describe Lasha as being kind of a feral cat that isn't feral. I mean, which means she's totally imbued with Shakti Kundalini. She is feral and yet not. She's feral, but she likes to sit on your lap and get, brushed and she'll look at you with her eyes and she'll give you very, very, very defined telepathic communication. No, we're not talking about Einstein's theories. No, we're not talking about, whether that asteroid is going to crash into the earth. We're not talking about things like that. We're talking about, let me out now, Chrism. We're talking about, it's time to brush me, Chrism. We're talking about, is there something weird going on outside of the house, Chrism? Go look, Chrism. Okay, we have conversations, and these conversations never include words. They always include emotions and feelings and cares and concerns. And it's the same with a dog. And it's the same with a bird. And it's the same with your plants. Your plants are also Kundalini reflectors. And they can have communication with you. You just got to be able to accept the communication of telepathics in a very, very different way. You don't want to always think that it's going to include words. And you want to just kind of try to remove your concept of how it must be. The communications need not be spoken through, say, the mental processes of an individual. It can be spoken through the emotional body as well. The plant will communicate to you through the feelings, the heart brain, the heart center. The fish will communicate with you through more of a physical nature. When you come up to the fish and you say, "Hi, fish," come up and they'll jump out of the water, they'll splishy splash, they'll let you know that they have heard and they know you're present there. They will let you know. And so it's very, very important for a person to understand this, to understand that the animals are smart, they're intelligent. Do not for 1 second believe what science tells you about animals. Science does not know. Science will kill an endangered species and call it sacrificed for science. Stick little pins in it like a voodoo doll, and go put it in the Smithsonian Institute. And say, wow, we've learned so much from this one species because we got to rip the shit out of it and stick needles in it. Yay! Let's do it again. And they'll test medicines on monkeys, and it just goes on and on and on. Science is really one of the lowest forms of informational collection that people have allowed themselves to fall victim to. Not saying that it doesn't create, not saying that, this computer I'm talking into is not a product of science, but I'll bet you the computer I'm talking to is not a product of animal testing from science. It could be. There could be something, let's see what EMF does to animals. So I understand that it could be. It's very important for people to begin to see animals and plants and this environment of the Kundalini as an extension of their own physical body, as an extension of their own emotional body, as an extension of their own divine body and heritage. It's not something to be separated. That whole ideology of divide and conquer. Well, that is what's happened to us here in the anti-shamanic Western technological societies. We have been divided in our understandings of life. We have been divided in our understandings of divinity. We have been divided in a way that causes us to lose the focus on the really sincere levels of truthful communication that are coming to us from nature. It's very important to understand this. It's very important to receive this. And it's very important to you within your Kundalini awakening and activation to begin to reach into nature, reach into the pets that are at your house. Don't think that a bug, just because it's a bug and because people make a judgment about bugs, it's just a bug, let's squish it, or let's step on it, or, look at all those bugs in the radiator of my car. Just because the life form is different and has different size and has different priorities doesn't mean that it's different in its divine heritage. It is the same. We are all bugs to some larger life form, to some larger understanding. We are all bugs. We are all you name the animal. We are all those things, and it's very important for us to realize that we are those things. And when you go into your house and you see the spiders on the wall, and I'm not saying that you don't take the broom and gently remove them to the outside. I'm not saying you have to be surrounded with spider webs, but I'm not so much against that either. Spiders are not bad. I mean, even like I say in some of the other programs, I meditated with about 20 large black widows for over a year. Not once was I bothered. Not a single time was I attacked or harassed or frightened or bit or stung or bothered. Those spiders left me alone. And I left them alone. I didn't go out with Raid and start spraying everything. And it's the same with the yellow jackets. It's the same with the wasps, the bees, you name it. And so a great level of respect and the responsibility of realigning your interaction with animals is crucial to the Kundalini activated and awakened person. And if you have a dog or a cat, and you can really invest yourself into their feelings, into the cleanliness of their food, the cleanliness of their living space, their ability to get outside and commune with nature, which in many ways is greater than the typical, mundane human being. You need to do that. You need to walk that animal every day. They need to have fresh water, fresh food. They need to have fresh love every day. Because let me tell you something, they give you their fresh love every day. Every single day. It's important for you to know that. It's important for you to recognize that. And that includes the plants. Some of you, because of the living situation that you have, you're not allowed to have a dog. You're not allowed to have a cat. You're not allowed to have fish or a bird or anything like that, but you're allowed to have plants. So there you go. You bring the plants into the house. You find the right position for them. You think of them first. You make sure they have good soil. You make sure that you water them precisely what their needs require, which doesn't mean every day. Plants can drown too. It's like with humans, too much milk. Well, you can drown in milk, so too much milk is not a good thing, but a little bit might be okay. Bring those plants into your flat or your apartment or your trailer or your home. Bring the plants in and nourish them and love them and receive the love they have for you from themselves. A couple of books that you might want to invest into. A guy named Christopher Bird wrote The Secret Life of Plants. And he partnered up with another guy for that book and another next book called The Secrets of the Soil. And this is bringing into intellectual illumination the understanding that Kundalini awakened people already have, but it's bringing into the masses the understanding that plants think, that they feel, that they rationalize, that they make choices and decisions. Many of them are the very same types of choices and rationalizations and decisions that people make, that other animals make, that other species make. And so it's very important for you to recognize the living life around you. Sometimes I'll walk outside at night at around 3 a.m. and I step very lightly, and I step barefoot. I step very, very lightly barefoot upon the soil, and you feel the throbbing of life through your foot chakras. You feel, and these are your grounding chakras too. You can send grounding cords down from the sole of your foot. You feel the pulse of life, and not just corporeal life. Not just mammalian life is what I mean, but you feel mammalian life, reptilian life, insect life, microbial life. You feel all the levels and sectors of life that are emanating their energies around you, but also deep into the soil. You feel the plant life, the fungi life. You feel all of it, and this all wraps a person into a tapestry of life. And this is all Shakti Kundalini. This is the sacred mother that we in the West coined a way back, Mother Nature. This is the expression of the true Mother Nature, the source of our don't mess with Mother Nature scenario, which is Shakti Kundalini, sacred feminine within us. So you must honor these aspects of yourself. You must honor these aspects of other expressions of life upon this world, which means that you don't take joy in ending that life. You don't go out and sport hunt just so you can take a decapitated head. You don't do these lion hunts or these elephant hunts or these orca hunts or these whale hunts or these dolphin hunts or these, you name it. You don't go out searching the jungles of South America for this amazingly rare creature and then capture it and kill it so that you can rip the guts out of it. I don't care if you're itemizing the guts. I don't care if it furthers your knowledge of that species, because you're wiping out the species. You're showing no respect for the life. And so you really need to begin to look at life in a different way. Do not follow a Western scientific model in the appreciation of life. Follow the Kundalini divine model in the appreciation of life. That is the model that you must follow. For those of you that have even made it to this channel, this radio show talking about Kundalini awakening, well, these are the areas that you need to focus on. It's a Kundalini life that is beckoning to you now. It's a Kundalini life, and in this program it is the appreciation through the Kundalini life of the other lives that have been designed and given into your awareness by divinity itself. And that includes the worms and the bugs and the bats and the dogs, the cats, the birds, the fish, the fungi, all of the life that's around you, and including life that has not even yet been discovered yet. There are levels of life that are not even understood yet because the machines have not been designed to identify them. And of course, the ivory towers of education, the ivory towers of religious control, the ivory towers of governmental control don't necessarily want you to know about all the life that's around you. They're happy with the status quo. They don't necessarily want you to change any faster than they want your change to be controlled by themselves, i.e., they want to control how fast people understand this or how fast people understand that. They don't necessarily appreciate a Kundalini person coming out there and saying, oh, by the way, there's a better way to look at life. There's a better way to live life. There's a better way to appreciate life. They don't necessarily want that to occur. They kind of like things the way they are. Don't rock the boat. And if you rock it too much, we'll just throw you off it. Which, isn't a bad thing, really. So think about these things. Understand these things. Really begin to invest yourself into that creature that lives with you. I invest a lot of my energy into Lasha, my cat. She gives me a lot of love, and I give her a lot of love, and we have a lot of communication between the two of us. And with this new wolf that we have here, Tika, she invests a lot of love, a lot of appreciation, a lot of stamina. She's laying down in front of me right now. She looked up. She's got those brilliant, bright, blue-white eyes. Extremely, exceptionally beautiful dog. I take her out now and I walk about 2.5 miles every single day, which is not something I was doing before. So she is making me get into shape through my compassion and my communication with her, her communication with me. Chrism is getting off his computer and going out every single day and communing with nature with Tika the wolf. And Tika the wolf is just loving it, and Chrism is loving it, and the friends that she makes, and the people that she meets, and the people that she walks with, it becomes a very, very, very positive experience. Certainly for Tika. And she reflects that positivity in her relationships with me and with the other people that spend time with her. And this creates a level of loving radiance that we can partake of, that we can inhale, and it sticks to us. I want you to eliminate your fears of the Shakti creatures that are around you. I want you to eliminate your fears of plants and whether or not they're hallucinogenic or not. I want you to accept the plant for what it is, how it is, who it is. Not for what you can do or what it does to you. If you eat it, maybe you shouldn't be eating it. Maybe it's not oatmeal. Maybe it's something that you only consume with your eyes. It's not for your gastrointestinal tract. Never ever kill things through your fear, unless it's for self-preservation. Because on this world there is a program in place, and that program in place is called predation, predator and prey. And so we have this natural program operating in this world through the creation of Shakti Kundalini. She created this program, and it works well, and it's called survival of the fittest. It's so that that species of animals don't become so safe and so nurtured that they begin to take over the whole world. And so there's this huge balancing program in place, which is called predator and prey. And this allows the world to maintain a balance of with many, many, many species of life on this world. This allows balance to occur. So one species doesn't take over the entire thing, which has been allowed to happen with humanity. But that's because humanity is being given an opportunity to reach into enlightenment through karmic redemption upon this planet. And that requires a number of lives to be lived for the most part and for most people. So she set in motion this predator-prey scenario, which we are still subject to, but which we try to avoid through the many devices and defenses that we set up in order to avoid it. But I'll tell you what, the viruses don't really care, and they're part of this natural environment. The bacteria don't really care, and yeah, you've got antibacterials, but they begin to adjust. They begin to adjust. The viruses, you got very few antivirals out there that are actually working. Most of the medicines you get these days are more designed to kill the human than they are to kill the virus. Like, these cancer treatments. You may as well drink a bottle of Raid. The survival rate is very, very low. Okay. So that, even in our plastic protected imaginary defenses that we have against the flu or against some of the life forms that are not yet discovered upon this world and have direct effect upon us, even within those contexts, we are subject to predator and prey. We are there. Go swimming in the ocean and think that you're not predator or prey. As that hand slaps down on the water, well, you've just slapped down on quite a few microorganisms that are floating on the surface of that water. And don't think that slapping sound hasn't alerted something that may just be looking for a piece of protein that's your size. So we're still there. We're still there. We're still deeply enmeshed within this world, but we're not enmeshed so much within the Western societies because we've separated ourselves from nature. We build homes to keep nature out. I'm sitting in a home right now that is designed to keep certain levels of nature out, and yet, in this ashram here, I'm staring at a crack, a huge crack in the ceiling. It's interesting. This ashram lays on a confluence of many different earthquake faults, and we're about maybe 40 miles from the third most volcanically active region in the state of California, and it's called the Bog Mountain volcano, basically Mount St. Helena, as opposed to Mount St. Helens in Washington. This is Mount St. Helena, and there are geysers there. It's extremely volcanic, and so we get a lot of earthquakes here. And this house has learned to shift. And when it shifts, a certain crack will appear. And then it shifts again, and that crack will disappear. Same thing happens on the driveway, on the ceiling, on the walls. The house is very, very flexible. I don't know how much of that is the Shakti in the house now. I've been here for well over a decade, coming on to 2 decades, really. And so this house is really suffused with Shakti, so much so that we had about 40,000 bees come into the house a few years back, and the queen had decided to make her hive in the attic, which was really a poor choice, but she did it, and 40,000 bees started coming through the heater vents and the windowsills. This is a 1947 home. And as best I could, I tried to just open the doors and windows to let the bees go out. But it was just really difficult for them to find their way out. And, a lot of them died. It was very sad for me. but I understood that I was being shown that houses, as impermeable as we want to create them, are not that impermeable to life. Certainly not to virological, exophenomenological life, which exophenomena life is life we haven't discovered yet. Insect life, it's all there. It's there in your carpet. It's there in your hair. The average human consumes about 8 to 9 spiders every year, just by sleeping. Spiders, the arachnids, are an incredibly huge and diverse expression of life on this world. Definitely, all of them are predators. All of them, every single one. And they're an incredible part of the balancing that we have put in place by the Shakti Kundalini upon this world. And that balance is reflected in your body. You have your immune system that does the same thing. And I won't get into that unless you want me to. If you have any questions or comments about this, please feel free to call. The guest call-in number is New York, area code 347-934-0026. That's area code 347-934-0026. And I am going to come into Rosemary right now. I'm going to bring Rosemary. Rosemary, do you have any announcements that you would like to make?
Yes, I would like to remind people that seminar is coming very soon. And a week from tomorrow, you will be here flying into the city.
Oh. Can you back your mouth away from the microphone a little bit? It's starting to break up a little bit. Say that again, please.
It's echoing. I don't know what's happening there. That has never happened. But the seminar is the 14th and 15th here in Minnesota, and you are here the 5th. You're coming in, and you'll be meeting with the people that have been in seminars. You'll be meeting with the people in several places around the cities. And my contact information, I know what else is this big expo on Saturday and Sunday before the seminar. So that's a very large annual event here, and people who would be interested in our work. So that's the weekend before. And I am at 651-452-3161, and Rosemary G. at U.S. Internet, and I am right now looking at the evaluations that people have given me over the last few months that they are interested in the schedule, and perhaps we'll do the seminar. So I'm just getting out an email to them to say hello, and I will do that with your energy around me, Chrism.
Absolutely. Keep up the good work, my dear. Excellent. And so, everybody, I will be in the Twin Cities area, which is central United States, north, and I'll be there on the 5th, and I'll be at the EDGE conference in the Twin Cities at the Harold Brown Center, I believe is what it's called, and I look forward to meeting any and all of you that would like to come by our booth. What booth number are we, Rosemary?
I think it's 38 or 83. Hold on.
Okay, all right. So I'll be at one of those two numbers, and feel free to come by our table and receive our free gift. And so, as Rosemary's diligently searching,
it's 83.
83. We are at table number 83, my friends, and so please feel free to come by. And thank you, Rosemary, for your announcement.
Thank you for the opportunity.
All right, and right now, let's see, looking at, I want to talk a little bit about the Peruvian Kundalini Ayahuasca journey that is taking place February 13th through February 27th. And for those of you that are going, it is important for you to go ahead and get your interpersonal Peruvian air flight. That is the flight that takes you from Lima to Cusco, Peru. And so definitely you want to start scheduling that right now. The more you wait, the more expensive it becomes. If you haven't got your passport yet, I would really like to encourage you to get that passport. It's going to be very difficult to leave the country without it. So just letting you know that this journey is beginning to take place, and we are, the money is being spent and the contacts are being made, and things are going perfectly with this. And I'd like you to encourage everybody that is going to begin to begin to look at getting a mosquito net, to begin to look at the dietary controls, to begin to look at thought platforms of devotion to the Kundalini. You must give yourself in devotion to the Kundalini as you begin to enter into the ayahuasca reality. And so really begin to practice your devotionals towards the ayahuasca or towards the Kundalini, and really begin to manifest that within your life. When we go down to Peru, there will be many, many, many opportunities to appreciate the power of nature and the power of and the priority of life as we move closer to the equatorial regions. The closer you get to the equator, the warmer it is. The warmer it is, the more diversity of life there is. The more diversity of life there is, the greater the levels of predator and prey are. And so this is something that you can begin to really understand and really begin to drink into your soul, to really connect with the vital force of the Shakti Kundalini that is awakening within you. She is the key. She is the creator of this life on this world, of the life that you're living, the body that you're living, and of the composition of your body. We are composed of minerals from the earth. We are composed of water from the earth. 78% of us have water, and the other percentages, of different minerals, and it's very, very important for amino acids and different types of combinations of nutrients that this world offers for us to have this human being body. This is the creation. This combination was put together by the Shakti. You need to understand that. Shakti isn't some old guy floating around on a cloud. Unless, of course, you need her to be that way. And then she, of course, will grow that beard and appear on the cloud and say, "Thou art saved upon my worshipping." So you can phrase it in any old English language you want, any old Latin language you want, any old shamanic language you want. But it is the sacred feminine that is the creator of life upon this planet. And it is really an opportunity and a blessing for you to begin to devote yourself to that, to become devoted to that concept that is expressing itself through you right now, that spiritual life force that is in your spine, at the base of your spine, that is working its way through your systems, and not always your physical systems. People always expect to, once they feel the energy in their spine, they always expect then, if they don't constantly feel that energy, well, then something's wrong. Oh my God, it's not there. Oh, what happened? I was feeling the energy go up my spine, and all of it. Oh, it's not there anymore. And it's like, oh, what did I do to make Shakti angry at me, or what are you doing, Chrism, that it used to be there and it's not there anymore? Therefore, something must be wrong, or you've lost your mojo, or you're not my teacher anymore because I don't feel the Kundalini at the base of my spine or shooting up my spine. Well, have you considered the idea that maybe she's not working on your physical body? Maybe she's working on the spinal cord of your emotional body. Maybe she's working on the spinal cord of your karmic body, the body of karma that you bring into this life. It's not all going to be one way for your logical linear mind to make sense of. It's not about making sense to you anyway. It's about changing you and transforming you and giving you the message that you must give your devotion. You must become your devotion to the sacred fire within you, to the sacred consciousness within you. You must become these things. You must do this work. It's not there for you to just sit there in your easy chair rocking back and forth and go, okay, Shakti, I'm yours, take me. And it's not like that. You got to get up. You got to do the work. You got to help other people. You got to help the environment. You have to help yourself into your divine natures. Do you get it? Do you understand? It's not a freebie from heaven. It's not pennies from heaven falling all around you so that you can go out and buy a sports car. It's not about these things. It's about the evolution of your soul, the evolution of the life force within you. You've lived life after life after life after life in order to get yourself into a position where you can even hear words like I'm giving to you on this radio program, where you can even see the word Kundalini and begin to go, oh yeah, what is that? Oh my gosh, why do I feel so drawn to that word? Life after life. And you've worked hard in those lives. You know, you've been that warrior. You've been that priestess. You've been that mother. You've been that father. You've been that daughter, that son, that soldier, that doctor, that shoemaker. You've been that sailor. You've drowned in the ocean. You've been killed by a sword. You've been raped. You've been decapitated. You've been tortured. You've been left to die peacefully in the arms of your loved ones. You've done all these things to get to where you are right now. Right now. This is the time for your divine to shine. Sorry for the rhyming, but that's just what came. This is the time for you to let the divinity in you shine through you. Why would you block that? People will typically block it with their expectations of what they think should happen based upon what little information they have from ancient scriptures and spiritual books of collected ancient scriptures and the expectations that their experience should match what other people are having, which doesn't match at all. You know, you get these comparisons, people coming up to you and saying, well, how come, you know, the person over there on the group doesn't have what I'm having? Does that must mean that what I'm having is wrong or what they're having is wrong because it doesn't match up? Well, it's not supposed to match up. And you want to just stop comparing your process to other people's process because it's not supposed to match up. You have different karma. You come into this life with different karma. Therefore, the experiences and the expressions and the probabilities that are set up for you are going to be strange and unique to the next person standing next to you. Your brother or your sister, or that stranger that you're crossing the crosswalk with, you all have different karma. And therefore, you will all have different levels of Kundalini awakening phenomena. Don't measure yourself against the awakening process of another person. It's apples and tree stumps. Exceptionally different equations. Yes, you might be here on the earth at the same time, and so there may be some similarities, or there may not be any similarity. But even if there are some or none, you're not going to have the same type of a deal. So don't allow yourself to fall into the trap of comparing. And your ego will constantly want you to do that. Constantly, over and over and over, ad nauseum. Well, how come so-and-so isn't having it the way that I'm having it? How come I'm not having it the way so-and-so is having it? Something must be wrong. How come I'm not the same as every other person in the United States that's not having Kundalini? Well, it's because you're having Kundalini, hello? I get this a lot. You are unique in your expression on this world. Your iris, your fingerprint. Why aren't you asking me, how come I don't have the same fingerprint as the person next to me? How come I don't have the same iris configuration as the person next to me? That's kind of what you're saying. Those are the questions you're asking. And you really need to understand that it is not comparable. Nobody can compare themselves to each other, with any ability of complete accuracy. There's always going to be differences. Always, always, always going to be differences. And, as the French say, vive la différence, because this is what gives us the diversity of experience. And this is what allows us to learn through the diversity of experience, diversity of phenomena, diversity of how people handle those experiences and that phenomena. And this is what allows us to be able to accept some of the strange things that happen to us on our Kundalini awakening path. So know this and understand this and be at ease with this. Have levels of comfort with this. It's very important that you begin to be comfortable with how you are, who you are, why you are, what you are. How you are is inside of a Kundalini awakened equation. Who you are is developing and changing according to that equation. Why you're having the equation is because you've lived enough time, you've gone through enough refinement to be able to reach into the heavenly expressions. And what you are is that divine being in the process of being born into a divine existence while still having a body, physical world. Having one foot in heaven and one foot on the earth at the same time. This is what is happening. This is what you're experiencing right now. Right, and I'm going to bring Her Holiness, the Queen, the Celtic Queen of Questionable Comforts, coming online in the Shakti Red, and I'm doing this setup to bring her out of the TV room or wherever she's at. And there she is.
Yeah, well,
what was it? Gilligan's Island?
Oh my God. Okay, yeah, well, you see, you shouldn't bring me on, Chrism, after you've just streamed all that information that resonates with my Kundalini and me, because it's like, oh.
Well,
so, okay.
Oh. So have you been able to collect any questions from our various communities, our online communities?
I certainly have. You know what? I'm going to begin with one from the group in about going to Peru. Somebody asked a question about that, and I think I'm going to shorten it because it's a long enough question. The person says, you teach us to go within, to perform the safeties, to trust the Kundalini, to reach the ultimate goal of divine consciousness. So why then is there this quest to Peru, and why use an external drug when it is already within? I just feel we are all connected to the source, and we can get to this without the drug. So, so she would like a response to that, Chrism.
We can get to it without. I got to it without the drug. You, I think, got to it without the drug. Rosemary got to it without the drug. Brooke got to it without the drug. Everybody, and a lot of people have gotten to it without the drug. The drug is not required, but it is an aspect of an internal journey that, in many ways, takes the ego out of the equation. Takes the ego blockages to facing some of our karmic blockages that we have. Say you drowned in a previous life or something like that, and the ayahuasca can reach into your consciousness and help you, assist you in relieving that karmic blockage. And so it's a very, very important thing. I mean, blockages people will die only being in the activated state because they're not able to balance out their blockages. And, why would a person limit themselves when the grace of the Shakti has given us combinations of plants and the understandings and how to use them and how to, within a Kundalini surrendered model, why would we deny ourselves that? This is not, you don't get high with ayahuasca. You vomit quite a bit sometimes. This is not something that people go into with the idea that they're going to go to dinner and a dance and, let's drink some ayahuasca tea. This isn't that. And I think the person has a bit of programming that they're working through that that is in a way accusing the ayahuasca as being a recreational substance instead of an internal devotional substance that allows a person to go within with greater elasticity, with greater understandings, with greater levels of the opportunity to change in a way that is meaningful and far more rapid than having to learn how to adjust the life and go into the Kundalini just to activate it. Well, we're talking about activated and awakened people already. Okay. This has already happened to the people coming on this journey. But I don't have a problem, even so, with people wanting to seek the activation through the ayahuasca as long as they continue to do the safeties all the time. Safety protocols all the time, which don't require drugs, except, of course, we require food and water and the different balances that those chemicals can give us as well. I mean, it really depends on what your governmental inflicted programming has been for you. Just say no, or reefer madness, or that old devil alcohol. I mean, what flavor of programming is this person reflecting and applying through projection upon the understandings of ayahuasca, which have been used by humans for 10,000 years or longer for the exact same purpose that we are going down to use that with. I have used the ayahuasca. I got some red ayahuasca, some yellow ayahuasca, some white ayahuasca, and some black ayahuasca, and I pounded it all out. I boiled it down for 12 hours. I took the tea, and I received the experience, and it was gracious. It was a blessing. It was an understanding. It was nonverbal. It was visual for me. I didn't vomit. I didn't get high or stoned or drunk or in any way, chemically inebriated in any way whatsoever. So this person is really speaking from a level of ignorance about what the ayahuasca does at all and ascribing to it a patina of judgment that has been inspired by their programming, their understanding of what it takes for the Kundalini. And even the ancient people did something called Soma, S-O-M-A. And so Soma was the original short path. Short path meaning you don't have to learn how to meditate or anything like that. You take these herbs and boom, there you go. You're enlightened. Soma consisted of 5 herbal constituents, of which I know of about 4. And that was all mixed together, and that was taken, and that was blessed by the Christos, and that was blessed by shamanic societies, and that was blessed by even some of the Sumerian and all the way up to the Babylonian periods. These people were doing these things. They were ingesting these things, and I don't think they were all doing it just to get stoned. So this person really needs to kind of reassess where they're coming from when they call ayahuasca a drug, for instance. That alone is speaking volumes to me about where they're coming from. And I'll be more than happy to answer that post when I finish the show and I'm able to do some email work. So yeah, that's my answer to that, my dear.
Okay, that was excellent.
I welcome anybody in our chat room to respond to that as well, or anybody on the phone. You know, we have people on the phone lines and we have people in the chat room. So if this is something that you wanna participate in, well, there you go. I want you to participate. Go ahead. Next one.
Okay, excellent. Thanks, Chrism. Okay, next question. Does sexual moderation play a part in Kundalini energy buildup? I've been practicing it. Okay, will I continue or?
No. It does. It does indeed. It does indeed. Certainly, what it does is because most people are used to self-stimulating every day or having sexual congress every day or certain times, however many times a week they're going to have it, or how many ever times a month. I mean, some people only have it once or twice a month or once or twice a year. I mean, it depends. But yeah, the retention of the fluid, the retention of the energy can definitely cause a buildup of Kundalini. And the Kundalini will shut that part off for people. It will shut that part down simply because it is using the creative forces within those sacred fluids to manifest transformation upon the individual. I'm looking at the phone line here, and it looks like you have a question up there, Santara.
Okay, I will go and answer it.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. The sexual retention, we're not just talking about the fluidic retention. We're talking about the urge to merge. We are talking about the ability or the sensation that you need to give or receive that communion with another person, that urge, the way the hips want to come together, the way the hands want to touch, the way the lips want to be pressed together. And it's very important for a person to understand that if the Kundalini turns off your sex drive, it is not a permanent thing. She is using the power of the sexual drive to use as a way of creating transformation upon the cellular body, but also the mental body, the emotional body, the psychology, or the egoic body, and the spiritual body of the individual. It's really an important understanding to have that if you choose to refrain from sexual expression, then that purposeful consciousness choice will indeed ramp up your Kundalini. It can do that. I mean, how do I say it? Those people who have the Kundalini and have experimented in those areas of celibacy or things of that nature, it can really, really, really help you a lot. I know the 5 Tibetans, there's a 6th Tibetan. Okay. I see that, Amelia. Okay, good enough. There's a 6th Tibetan that is involved with the 5 Tibetans, and that is all about permanent sexual retention. and basically not having sex for the rest of your life. Doing all 5 Tibetans, which are sexual exciters. If you do the 5 Tibetans, your libido is going to increase. If you do the 5 Tibetans and then you add the 6th on top of that, well, you add the libido, which is a function of Kundalini. Libido is a function of Kundalini, and from that function, you pull that function of Kundalini to the 6th chakra, to the 3rd eye area, and that is where a lot of changes physiology of the individual would begin, such as anti-aging and a reversal of the aging process, an increasing of the strength, an increasing of longevity, increasing of the mitigation of certain forms of radio signal or radiance from radio signals, such as EMFs, such as living under power lines and developing those cancers. That type of a scenario is greatly ameliorated through strong levels of Kundalini infused sixth chakra application. You hear me struggling for words. There's a lot of words that don't apply. The five Tibetans themselves have a sixth Tibetan that incurs sexual retention. So sexual retention can be very, very important. But so can seminal infusion also be just as creative and just as functional within a Kundalini expression. So, for instance, if the man is making love with the woman and they are on the Kundalini path and the sperm is given into the vagina, well, that sperm alone has an amazing potential of powerful infusion that can be given into the recipient, that can be given into, and at the same time, as that process before the expression of the sacred fluid, as that process is pushing the yin into the male yang, that also has powerful properties of joining. And it's not just fluidic, it's also the energetic that often rides the fluidic but doesn't always ride the sacred fluids. Just the coming together in such an act within a devotional context is a huge ball of energy there, and a huge design of energetic transformation, of energetic inculcation, of calling levels of energetic evolution into the two people that are participating in that type of a field. And so certainly don't want to say that the expression of the sacred fluids is wrong. It's not wrong at all. It's just as powerful as the retention, but just in different ways. So, for instance, if you're going to be going into Tantra, so let's say you're doing wet Tantra, and which wet Tantra means that the male body part will be entering the female body part, and there will be actual physical fluidic intercession between the two individuals. That is very, very powerful, especially if the people are activated or awakened already. Those two sets of fluids, the yin and the yang fluids, are already imbued with Kundalini, and it's like you're putting out the fire with gasoline. Okay? Now, for the unawakened, sexual retention is very good, because especially if you're practicing the safeties for Kundalini awakening, well then, that can indeed start that campfire at the base of your spine and pull it up the spine at least to the fifth chakra, which is a great big deal, because that, as it passes over the fourth chakra, you have that huge fourth chakra explosion. Love and compassion and care and the communication of compassion, caring, and love, and the many factors of love, such as honesty, tolerance, forgiveness, grace, gratitude, appreciation. These all become incredibly strong priorities in a person. Atlanta Seeker says, do you recommend that everyone should do the sixth Tibetan? If not, how do I know if it's right for me? Well, just consider, is celibacy right for you? Celibacy for life, is that right for you? That's all you need to ask yourself. No self-stimulation. No copulation with another person. Is that right for you? Then you can ask that person if that is indeed right for you. So sexual retention is a big deal. I think they call it brahmacharya in the Sanskrit areas. And the people that wear the orange robes are supposed to be celibate, but typically they're not. They either self-stimulate or they sneaking around here and there. I've never ever practiced celibacy, and when I practice tantra, wet tantra, dry tantra, it's always been within the grace of the Kundalini. Always there. Now it's a very powerful practice, and in some ways, I have. Well, it can explode a Kundalini bomb in a person, and that bomb may not always be received well, but it's no accident that person receives such a great burst of Kundalini within them. They need that burst. They have that burst, and eventually in their life it will serve them. But within the concepts and the taboos and the fears of Western society, certainly Victorian society in the United States and Europe, well, that is perceived as so awesomely wrong and blah blah blah, and so be careful about who you do that with, because you can have your reputation ruined, as I have, and so that is just an aside on that. Now I'm going to move forward to Mr. Lamar, and I'm going to bring Lamar online. Mr. Lamar, hello. Lamar, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thank you for your patience.
My pleasure. I'm getting a bit of an echo here.
What do you mean? Me. Is it coming from me?
Well, it's coming when I speak through your line. Anyway, that's okay.
What's your question, my friend?
Well, I'm wondering if you can help me, because I had a really scary experience a few weeks ago, and as a result, I've had to explain some things to people in my life, particularly my parents, and listening to a show like yours is helping, and I've had them listen tonight to this show, because I think you're saying things they need to hear, particularly when you were talking about ayahuasca.
Oh yeah.
But what happened?
Are they there? Are they listening right now, Lamar? Are they there?
They are, and I will remind you in a few moments.
Hello, parents.
They
hello,
say
parents.
hello. They say hello. I'm trying to keep it lighthearted, but it was a serious situation. About a week ago, I was rushed to the hospital because I took it was a herbal type Viagra supplement. And
did you get this? This is the kind of stuff they sell for the truckers and things like that they call like they call it yellow jackets, and they call it blue ice, that type of thing with ephedra in it.
I got to tell you, I don't know exactly what it was. I'm usually very careful with this kind of thing. The package had Asian writing on it, and I didn't investigate like I usually do, and I took it, and I took a few, and I was with a young lady, and I did pass out. I was brought to hospital, and the emergency contact that I had on my medical alert bracelet was my mother, and what I'm really trying to explain.
Certainly what a mother wants to. That's the phone call she wants to get, I'm sure.
Yeah, and what I really want to explain to her, thank God, I'm fine. I'm going to be okay. I was a scare, but I'm all right, and I'll never do that again. But what I'm trying to explain to her and my father, even though I'm long since out of the house, I'm just trying to explain to them that this was not taken as a drug addict would take a drug. This was not taken to sort of get high. This was taken to enhance an experience, and I don't think they really understand what an herbal Viagra is. And I was wondering if you could help explain that to them. If I could put them on the phone, and you could do that.
You bet. And I want to welcome the two of them to the program, as well as you, Lamar. Herbal Viagra.
Their name is. Just give me a sec. Their name is Ben and Ray. They're a little hard of hearing, so they may get you to repeat something. But I'm going to bring them on. Ma, you can pick up the phone in that room there. Okay, here they are.
What is that herbal Viagra? What? Herbal Viagra.
What's going on with that?
Whoops, I don't know, Chrism, they're gone.
You think that was probably somebody messing with us, huh?
I don't know. I think so. Well, I was really buying it until Ben and Ray were coming on. Hard of hearing. You can get the phone there, Ma. I thought, really?
You gotta love the guy.
That was one of the better ones.
Oh my God, I love that. Herbal Viagra. Oh, here he is again. Here he's back. He's back.
Well,
now,
I mean, do you want to pick up?
Yeah, you quiz him out. Because I'm not
quizzing. I'm not quizzing.
I'll do it. Here, I'll do it. Hang on. You.
I will quiz him if you want me to, but I mean,
please
really,
do. Please do.
Okay. You're so mean. Okay.
Go ahead. Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, this happens every now and again. We get people, it's kind of fun, actually. This guy was pretty good. I have to say. It doesn't happen too much, though. I mean, I know that Mary Jean's been listening for a while, and Atlanta Seeker, you've been listening for a while, and sometimes, we get the people coming on, just, trying to sneak one in because they know it's a radio show. But I want to answer Manisha's question. And Manisha says, my Kundalini is reacting very strongly to this topic. I have been given a lot of sensual experiences since my activation, and I feel I have just started that journey, that I am to explore the tantric ways. And Manisha, I want you to invite you to that Kundalini Awakening Systems Tantra page if you're not already on that. And because I've been bloodied so badly, in the press, shall we say, about any kind of a practice of Tantra, I hesitate to do that. But, I figure, the mud's already there. The mud is already there. So, it's not going to make it any worse the way I'm seeing it. So I'll be starting to bring out those tantric teachings, certainly for you, dear Manisha. And thank you for writing that. Yes, Amelia.
Okay, so Lamar is back, Chrism, and he's a little bit upset that we feel it's a joke. I explained to him that we weren't an educational show about explaining what Viagra was. But he says his parents are 90, and, Chrism, it's up to you. I told him I'd put him on hold.
I'm going to come back on here. Hey, Lamar, let me tell you, we get crank callers all the time trying to, when we start talking about Viagra, my hand starts to hover.
I get it, man. I really do, and look, there is something funny about it, but it's not funny to them, and I'm sorry.
So let me just go into the explanation here.
Sure.
Herbal Viagra is a way to stimulate levels of testosterone in the human male that allows a person to have a strong level of stamina during the sexual experience.
What is that?
Okay, ephedra. Ephedra is a plant that basically induces cardiovascular excitation. So the heart pumps. Who are you
talking to? Dad, keep it down, please. Sorry, go ahead.
Did he have another question?
No, he's just a bit hard of hearing, so it's fine. You can go ahead.
Yeah. So the cardiovascular system is excited tremendously, and which means the blood pressure rises, and this pressure, supposedly creates a conducive environment for greater stamina during the sexual experience for the man. And
people don't run around with herbal Viagra, a huge bonus. He went to the whorehouse.
Mom.
What was that?
two whores. Who are you, Mr. Hotshot?
Please, the man's trying to explain something to you. Please. I'm sorry, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay. So anyway, basically, herbal Viagra is there for the same reason that pharmaceutical Viagra is there for. It's for, an extension of the sexual experience.
You
it's just
better
using.
Hey. I mean, what? How many erections? Your erection's so big, you'll take someone's eye out.
What?
Seriously, Chrism, I'm your covering there. It's up to you. It's up to you.
No, this.
I haven't cut. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Lamar. I know you're still listening, but really, you need to go
it's good though.
Information
it's good.
somewhere else.
Yeah. Herbal Viagra. Thank you for coming on the show, though.
Thank you, Lamar.
You gotta love the guy's creativity. I have to swear.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm just sipping it now.
Manisha says, with regarding to the Tantra, Kundalini is really building up power at my tailbone as you spoke. Thank you again. And so, this is definitely a communication for you, Manisha, from the Kundalini, that this is an area that she wants you to explore. And Cole is saying, crank call, yeah. You think? Oh, Lordy, that was good. I haven't had a good laugh like that in a while.
Oh my gosh! I'm hovering and I'm going. You're really letting. It doesn't matter.
Well, when he said, some sort of an erection to put your eye out, I knew.
Okay.
Oh my God. Oh well, Lamar, you gotta, I gotta hand it to you for your creativity. I mean, how fun! That was very, 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 very funny. I hope none of that offended anybody. Okay, so anyway.
I'm sure it didn't. Can we just check with there that your sound is okay? That everybody is hearing you and you're not coming and going?
Am I coming and going, Manisha, Mary Jean?
I just got a phone call that maybe you were, so I just want to check.
Testing 1 2 3 0 1 9 1 0 1. Can somebody type in the chat room? Let me know if it's happening clearly enough. I know I've probably been rocking my chair, which is bad. I know it's bad.
You haven't actually. No, it's fine. Okay.
Sound is fine. It just says sound is fine, and Cole's writing, and hopefully the sound will be good for Cole as well. Roger that over. Thank you, Cole. Okay. Next question, my dear.
Okay. I'm trying to pick one that will be, let me see. Okay, so this one. Does religious belief limit our Kundalini awakening? I mean, the answer is...
It can. It can limit it, only because that, you're basing your own spiritual expression upon the best or the worst of the individual collections of stories or the expectations that are given within that particular belief system. So most certainly, it can limit. Let's just look at the whole ayahuasca question all over again. In many of the shamanic systems of South America, the ayahuasca is a sacrament. It is a sacrament. And from that sacramental position, the people would take it as a way of being devotional to the divine within them. And so if a person's religious says, oh, you can't have that, then boom, you've definitely been, held back from entering into divine merging just by virtue of somebody or, some high priest or priestess saying, no, you can't do that. So, yeah, religion can definitely halt and stifle Kundalini expression within the individual, for sure. Next question.
Okay, so this is a question about a dream. Somebody is having a recurring dream about elderly in a nursing home. They seem to be wanting me to help. This man is sitting in a stall while talking, and he has a tube coming out of his arm, and it was dripping blood. I'm not sure what it is and what I'm supposed to do.
He needs to go to a nursing home. He needs to go there, and he needs to express his Kundalini radiance upon that entire building. All 120 of those patients need to have him sitting in that room, playing cards, talking to people, listening. His Kundalini is asking him to give a Kundalini healing to those patients, and I would encourage everybody to do this. You just go to a nursing home. It is a perfect healing opportunity for your Kundalini. If you've never tried it, go into that nursing home and just let your Kundalini radiate itself through you. And don't expect to feel a certain way. Don't expect to feel hot or like you're just like beaming out this radiance, which does sometimes happen with the Kundalini. Just reading minutia. Well, we always know when you're rocking. Rocking and rolling, baby. Rocking and rolling.
Rocking all over the world.
Anyway, he needs to go to that, and I think he'll be called to a very specific convalescent home, and he needs to go there, and he needs to do that. Okay, and it's interesting to have that come to him in a dream, and the Kundalini will often give people those types of dream instructions, and the very fact that she's giving it to him over and over and over and over is an indication that she's not letting go with it. It's not just some fancy of the mind, energetically digesting the experiences of the day. It is a definite instruction from the Kundalini for him to go, and I certainly encourage him to do that. Next question.
How wonderful that is for him, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, next question. Where's it gone? Sorry, Chrism.
That's all right. It's all right. Lamar.
Okay, where's the question gone? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, let's go. Let's go with this one. Okay, so this person is curious about.
Wait. Looks like we got another caller up top now. Screen carefully.
I asked Lamar when I heard his voice, and I said, he told me he had a question for you about herbal supplements, and a very difficult experience. And I said to Lamar, have you called before? Your voice is very familiar. And he went, no. I think he was fibbing.
Go ahead now.
Anyway,
get
let me ask the question to you, and then I will go and check out while you're answering it, okay?
Right. Sure.
So the question is, I am curious about something. Why do you think it is that most churches sing and worship before a service? Is it possible that worship puts your mind in the right frame of mind? And has anyone incorporated worship before their meditations?
Within the private student sector, I definitely encourage worship, and it's worshiping of the Shakti, and it's worshiping of the Shakti and the Kundalini in different reflections of worship, different ways to do that worshiping, and so definitely, it is a good thing. Now, why they singing is a way of loosening the hold that the ego has over some aspects of our personality. Most people are embarrassed to sing alone because they are not, I'm not a trained singer, or I can't carry a tune, or this type of thing, and they're very shy about singing and that shyness is based in fear of judgment. And so when they start to sing, well, they're releasing the fear of judgment. They're releasing the shackles that the ego is placing over their throat, over the appreciation and the giving of the sound of their soul. Just like the eyes are the windows of the soul, well, the voice can be the sound of the soul. And so, yes, indeed, singing or chanting, just doing the Om is a form of chanting that can be very, very, very conducive to devotion and worship, worshiping the divine within you. I give you my life, Shakti Kundalini. I give you my soul, Shakti Kundalini. I worship you. I am you. You are me. I become you. You become me. I worship you, Lord Shakti Kundalini. I give you my soul. You know, things of that nature that are really, really, really helpful when a person is giving devotion. Devotion and worship are very, very, very close. Matter of fact, when I have a private student here at the ashram, you know, we do levels of devotional worship. You don't always have to do the worship words. I worship you. You can just say, I give my life to you, Shakti Kundalini. I give my life to you. I give you control of my life. I give you my body. I give you control of my body. You know, these types of things count as worship. And so Noah is phoning from England, says he wants enlightenment through ayahuasca, but is feeling some fear. Okay. I'm just a little gun shy right now, Noah. But okay, so here we go. Going on over to Noah here. Hover, Centaura.
Hovering.
Hey, Noah.
The hospital says his erection is so massive. They have.
I swear, Chrism, there's more than one of them, or he's great at accent. He has a brilliant. That's why I put in England, because it was a 347 American number.
Oh God.
Yeah. So let's just say at this point in time, we're not taking any more phone calls.
Yeah.
For this show,
break.
okay?
Unless
yeah. I mean, if you want to phone in, I'll certainly speak to you, because we don't really want to miss something genuine. But I'm not going to put, I'm going to be on hyper alert. Okay.
Yeah, get those red flags ready. I mean,
Yeah, well, we can only. There was a red flag, Chrism, but I mean, you have to. I decided to just.
We cut it off pretty quick. I think we can be even quicker. No, I will be very, very quick with that. So. Okay.
I was as quick as was possible. Said she defensively.
We don't. You see, ladies and gentlemen, we don't get that 5-second delay that the other radio stations get. So we don't have that 5-second delay, and so because we don't have that 5-second delay, they get at least 5 seconds into it.
And not only that, the actual cut-off button isn't instantaneous. It can take like 2 seconds for that to disconnect a person. So there's a delay on that side of it as well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next question, my dear.
Okay. Leaving the studio, going over to my questions.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So, can you help me? Yesterday, suddenly, I felt a sense of calmness and peace that overwhelmed me. It lasted about 2 hours without doing anything. I was just watching TV. Today it happened again spontaneously. What is happening to me and why now?
And when you watch TV, a person goes into the alpha state. As a person is in the alpha state, alpha brainwave state, a person is opened to finer frequencies of gifting from the Kundalini or from actually various sources. And in this case, this person is being given sudden absorptive serenity. And this is a form of serenity that really, really takes you out of your normal beta consciousness. And I think this person has to really be primed for this. So in some way, this person has primed themselves to have this type of an experience. And because of that, they're being given through alpha brainwave stimulation, like such as television. Listening to music can do the same thing too, by the way. If you put your headphones on, you just kind of like zone to the music, same thing can happen. You can have sudden absorptive serenity. You can have sudden absorptive focus, which means you focus really, really sharply on a subject or something that you're doing. You can have sudden absorptive awareness, where you're hyper vigilant in your awareness. I've had that consistently when I'm out in nature. I just become suddenly absorptive aware, and I'm hearing and feeling and testing and tasting all the different levels of communication that are coming through the Kundalini into me, and this is a very beautiful thing, and this person should be very, very happy that this is happening to him. And I invite any and all people that are listening to this program to have that sudden absorptive level of serenity or focus or awareness or sensuality. You can have sudden absorptive sensuality where you're really, really focused on the tactility of what it is to touch and the communication of touch and the levels of touch that can occur for a person. So looks like I got beamed.
Is there somebody else there?
Oh, somebody told me that said Lamar. This is interesting. The guy that supposedly, this is not Lamar, but Lamar Odom is a professional. Hang on a second. Let me get there. This is interesting. Oh, wow. Wow, it's really sad, actually. Lamar Odom is a professional basketball player who 2 weeks ago was found unconscious at a brothel for overdosing on herbal Viagra. He was rushed to the hospital. And I hope he's okay. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, but that wasn't Lamar phoning us in, guys. That was somebody taking that real life story and being pretty unkind in my book. You know, that wasn't Lamar.
Agreed. So
healing and prayers for the real Lamar, and yeah.
Yes, healing and prayers for the real Lamar. Matter of fact, I'm just going to send that right now.
Yeah.
There we are. And I invite everybody in the chat room to send to Lamar Odom, and everybody who's listening to this in the future in the as you listen to this show from the recording, send to Lamar Odom right now. That's last name is spelled Odom, and thank you to the person for letting me know about that. Wow, did not know. So there you have it. And the last question pertained to what? What was that?
I don't know. It's gone.
No. Sudden absorptive serenity.
Oh yes, yeah.
So that is something that can come on to a person, and it definitely has Kundalini strings attached to it, although you do not have to have Kundalini to have it. Next question.
Okay, the next question is a long question, and I'd like to read it out because I think people may, resonate with some of it. I would like to ask you for some advice. This February, I have unexpectedly experienced Kundalini awakening and along with opening of my senses and seeing the real world. I started to have uncontrolled swings in mood from mania to depression, and this lasted usually 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes a bit more. I am already exhausted, and what's more, it's affecting my social life, school and work. My relatives and friends have started to avoid me. Sometimes I spend days in bed doing nothing, feeling empty and useless, and then a week after I sleep just a couple of hours and I am super energetic and full of creative ideas. I don't want to visit a psychiatrist because for my job I need to prove that I am physically and psychologically good, so a visit would not be the best idea. I had several impulsive ideas, like leaving school and my job, because of the exhaustion and helplessness of finding a solution, but I do not know that I should do it, but I know that I should not do it later. I feel very trapped. Talking with people who do not experience Kundalini awakening is ridiculous because they do not understand it and they think I'm crazy. So what should I do? You know, he would like advice on that. And he does say, do you have any hacks on how to escape the matrix? Yeah.
Well, first of all, you're not going to escape the matrix. The matrix has invited you in, or you've woken up inside the matrix. You don't want to escape the matrix. Like Neo did, you want to learn to have the matrix work with you and to become part of you and you to become part of it. It's not something that you escape. It's something that you embrace. And the first thing that I would do for this individual is to tell them to start practicing the safeties, first of all, and especially the emotional safeties, the forgiveness, the tolerance, the trust, the having trust in this process and not communicating to this, to other people that don't have this. Big mistake. That's a great way to get yourself put into a psych ward, and you're correct to assume that if you have a job that requires people to trust you with mental stability, that you do not want to tell them that you have Kundalini awakening. Now, as far as the sleeplessness and things of that nature, well, let yourself sleep as much as possible. If you need to keep your job as much as possible, do not lose your job unless you can afford to. Keep your job intact. Keep your schooling intact for the. I would really like to talk to this person in person, like on Skype or something, just to really send to them and give to them a level of stability, a flow treatment, for this. But now there's another caller. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we just got another caller, a 480 number, and I'm just going to leave it alone here. This person can listen to the show on the telephone. Hello, 480-939-7968. Appreciate you calling in and hope you can enjoy the remnants of the show on the telephone there. Anyway, so this person needs to understand that nothing that is happening to them is wrong. Nothing that is happening to them is wrong. Nothing that is happening to them is an illness. They know that they have Kundalini, so it's very important for them to know that having Kundalini, they are able to manifest very specific frequencies of response to this energy. And one of the main responses to this energy is surrender. You want to surrender to the Kundalini. You want to surrender to the Kundalini. You want to allow the Kundalini to make the many, many different transformations and changes that it wants to make upon you. You don't get to resist this. The more you resist, the worse things get. And so the more you surrender, the better things get. The better your balance is, the better your metabolism is, the better, the many different levels of interaction that you have with the Kundalini is. Is everything okay there, Santara?
Yeah, Chrism, fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Who was it? Was it Lamar again?
It's better not to say.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
All
it
right.
was. It was. This time he was a woman.
Very nice. Very nice. This person needs to really understand that the more you surrender, the better things get. The better things get, the more stability they have within their life. Now, you need to understand that the opening of your mind and the opening of your understanding of what the real world is, that is just part of the process. The other part of the process is having the ability to really accept the changes that are occurring. Sometimes that acceptance means you have to sleep longer. You have to sleep longer hours. I've got another student right now who's, they're telling me that, oh my God, I feel so tired all the time. Oh my gosh. Why this? Now look, why this? Are you going to be like, are you another crank caller? Folks, I'm answering a question from a person named Whitus on...
if his name is Noah, and is it Noah?
I don't know. His name is Whitus, Y and then D-I-S.
Oh.
Basically, I think a why this. You go ahead, Whitus. You give a call, and Amelia's going to screen you. Yeah, you get those rubber gloves ready, my dear.
Sure. Okay.
So, snap. Snap them on. So anyway. So with regards to the questioner, it's really important that you begin the process of surrendering to it, that you stop trying to control and stop having the expectation that life is just going to be going on as usual, as it always has been. It is not going to be that way. You're going to have a different life now. You're going to have an altered life, a really, really blessed life in many ways. This life that you're going to live, is going to manifest very, very distinct changes. You may have sudden levels of telepathy. You may have sudden levels of different Kundalini skills, and you don't want to just start toying around with them. She's giving them to let you know that the ramification of having Kundalini is a very, very, very strong invitation into grace. And you need to understand that in these beginning moments, you're not very, very educated in this quite yet. But the more you practice your surrender and the more you talk with us on the Kundalini Awakening Exclamation group, and I invite you to visit me on Skype. My Skype name is chrism.kundalini. I want you to feel free to call, and we'll have a little one-on-one, and I'll give you a flow treatment just so that you can keep your job and stay in school. I know that both of those scenarios are very important to an individual. So moving on, and Whitus says his name is Richard Santara, and he's calling from a 724 area code, and he has a deep voice. So Whitus, go ahead and give a call in ASAP. We've got about 17 minutes left in the program.
So, Chrism, while I'm speaking with him, could you speak a little bit about Lyme's disease and the Kundalini?
Oh, sure, not a problem. Okay. So, Lyme disease and the Kundalini, and let's just throw in fibromyalgia with that. And I know that I have a person who's listening right now that has fibromyalgia. Lyme disease, fibromyalgia, and a lot of these nefarious diagnostic catch-all conditions that the medical arts don't necessarily understand quite yet. A lot of those people can have actuality. They can have Kundalini within them, and they can have definitely fibromyalgia has a Kundalini connection, and definitely Lyme's disease has almost virtually the exact same phenomena that the Kundalini awakening person has. And that same phenomena, everything from muscle twitches to all the different scenarios that come on with an awakening can be ascribed to Lyme disease. And Lyme disease involves a level of spirochete that becomes present in the bloodstream. It's given by a tick. It's a bacteria given by a tick. If you get bit by the deer tick, and that little deer tick has on its back, it's yellow with a little bullseye in it, and that bullseye will also appear on the bite area. And so if you have a tick bite and you've got a bullseye around it, well, there's a possibility that you may have Lyme disease because of that. But a lot of Lyme disease is truly can can be controlled through the Kundalini. It can also be taken away by the Kundalini. So it's very important for people to understand that if they have Lyme disease, it is not all lost. It is not lost at all. And as well as fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia is a condition that has to do with resisting Kundalini phenomena, resisting the many changes that come with it. And so you'll have the fibromyalgia as a form of physiological expressive resistance experience that a person will have. And they've got a few herbal things out there that can help with it, but typically if they just stop resisting the Kundalini, that fibromyalgia typically will go away. And yes, does Richard have a question that is an actual question?
I don't know. Richard's voice sounds a little bit strange, but he says it's the headphones. He wants to speak to you about Kundalini healing, and it's up to you, Chrism.
All right.
All right, I'm putting him on now.
All right. Hi, Richard.
There you go.
What are you going to say? Something about erections, right?
I mean, what is with all these boners? You need to stop it. Who are you talking to? Respectable people.
Okay, I just cut him off.
So did I.
Kind of gets a bit boring, doesn't it? It was funny for 5 minutes, but okay. Yeah. Actually, fibromyalgia, I would have had that quite a few years ago, Chrism, in the neck and my shoulder in particular and down my arm, very, very painful. And when I look back on it, it would have been resistance because I didn't understand. I didn't get it. I didn't know. And I was in huge resistance at the time, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it did go away. Is this something that goes away? I mean, it was diagnosed as fibro.
If you stop resisting it, it'll go away. But you gotta get it out of your head that you're ill, and that's one of the problems is that people get, they get caught up in their illness. They get caught and they believe it. The physician will say, "Well, you definitely have fibromyalgia." And I'm going to give you this guaiminophene or whatever it's called, and you're going to need to take this whenever you have a flare-up. They'll call it a flare-up. Yeah. And no. If you just stop resisting the Kundalini, and a lot of people don't even know that they're having Kundalini symptoms, so they don't know not to resist it. And that is the sin. That's the sin of our society. That we're so, and it goes back to that whole idea of just believing what science tells you is real. So it goes back to that whole mistaken notion that science has all the answers, and if the scientist tells you something, that you have something and you believe it, how are you going to resist that belief? Well, you'll resist the belief only if you have something that overpowers that belief, and that can be information. Now, I know somebody from the 239 area code right now that has resisted the Kundalini their whole life, and yet they try to embrace it at the same time, and they complain of having fibromyalgia and some of the other diseases that contribute to that are contributed by resisting the Kundalini, and some of those are also different forms of arthritis and different forms of excuse me, body like having the immune system attack your body. Excuse me a minute here. So if you stop resisting the Kundalini, if you do everything you can do to tell yourself that you are well, that you have Kundalini, it is not an illness, then you'll go a great distance in overcoming these types of scientifically inflicted irrational assumptions of disease.
Well, I was told, Chrism, that I would always have it, that it was something I would always have, and there would be flare-ups throughout my life. And it's gone. It's gone a long, long time. So that's not true. You know,
exactly.
it was a resistance.
It's not true. It is a program being pushed out into society to keep people addicted to things like guaiminophene or I know I'm pronouncing that wrong, but I'm pronouncing it wrong because it's the wrong DX. It's the wrong diagnosis, and it's a diagnosis that is born of futility and born of blindness and ignorance and innocence to the Kundalini. A lot of MDs know about Kundalini now, but they don't know it enough. And I see that Mary Jean and Cole are typing away, and we'll see what happens. And Cole Kunalini said to these Lamar-type people, "You're not even funny anymore, dude. Get out and do something productive instead of just trolling people." So thank you, Cole, for that. I think that's quite appropriate. Yeah, so anyway, we've got 9 minutes left. Do we have any other?
I'm going to give the website, Chrism, if I
Please
may. I haven't done that yet. Yeah. So for those of you who would like to make a donation and you're in a position to do so, here is the website: www.ascension-kundalini.blogspot.com, and the other one is www.chrism-kundalini.blogspot.com, and you will see the donate buttons there on the website. They're up near the top. One is on the right-hand side and it's on the left-hand side in the other. So please do make a donation if you would like to support this work and if you are able to do so. Gratefully received. So thank you, Chrism. I probably could ask another question, will I?
Please do.
We have enough time, have we? Okay.
Yes.
So, that's the nursing home one. Okay. And that's that one. Okay. I have read many places on the internet that a top-down activation is not to be mistaken with Kundalini because the Kundalini lies in the base of the spine only. I'm top-down activated myself, so I'm wondering if this is true. And if it is, what is it called?
Ask the question again, please.
They want to know if a top-down activation, okay, I read many places on the internet that a top-down activation is not to be mistaken with Kundalini because the Kundalini lies at the base of the spine.
Well,
this person is top-down themselves.
Top-downs, or, I mean, a lot of people that explore Kundalini, say through psilocybin mushrooms, magic mushrooms, or some of the other things that really affect the top chakra, the crown chakra, they'll have a top-down awakening, and it can indeed be associated with Kundalini. You just do it top-down, and it's difficult. It's a difficult way to awaken, but it is an awakening. It is a substantial and it is a life-changing Kundalini awakening. So I would not make the mistake of not recognizing its validity as a Kundalini awakening expression.
Okay.
Done.
I have another question. This morning I was lying in bed getting ready to wake up. I heard a loud ringing in my ear. When this happens, I usually know something is around me. So this time I acknowledged it by asking in my head, who's there? The answer I got was Shifta Ananda. I had a dream about Ananda before. Is this then I woke up and blah, blah, blah.
If it's answering with words, it's an entity, typically. It's an entity disguising itself as Shiva, Ananda. I am the sacred male love is what that translates to. And I simply wouldn't buy it. Not yet. Now, Mary Jean, going back to the fibromyalgia question, Mary Jean posts, she says, I can remember asking for something that wouldn't kill me so I could be able to bring up my children, and fibromyalgia fit the bill. That's just kind of, why would you ask for fibromyalgia? Why would you ask for something that wouldn't kill you? Are you? I mean, you really want to try to maybe rephrase that. You're asking for what? What would that something be that wouldn't kill you, so that you'd be able to raise up your children? And why would fibromyalgia fit the bill? So I'm not really understanding that question, Mary Jean. It doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. What is that something you were asking for? And why would fibromyalgia be that something, whatever that something is? It's a very long story. Okay, well, probably nothing we can fit in 4 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and, I'm going to go ahead and call it for this show. Okay, Santara?
Mm-hmm.
And so, Santara, I would like to give you a moment for last comments or commentary. Please begin.
Okay, I do not have any commentary really, Chrism, just to say that I very much enjoyed the show. I think the beginning of it about our animals, the Kundalini animals, I could resonate with so much of that. And indeed, the whole show was really interesting, lots of different topics. So thank you very much. Thank you to everybody who's listening in the archives and the guys there in the chat room. I'm missing seeing you in the chat room, guys.
Well,
so hi to all
Lena
of you.
Seeker and Manisha, Mary Jean, Vincent 91, Cole Kundalini, a couple of guests, 1392, 1539. I think they're familiar people as well. And I just want to thank everybody for participating and I look forward to seeing you this time next week. And blessings to all of you who are listening in the archives. And thank you, Amelia Santara, for being the progenitor of this show, for you and John, for allowing this show to exist. And thank you for all the call-ins, even the interesting ones, the off-topic ones. Thank you, everybody, for your participation. And here we go. Ah.